Good evening and welcome to the Forbes India Leadership Awards Ahmedabad Leadership Circuit in partnership with Federal Bank. After Bangalore, Coimbatore, and Pune, Ahmedabad is the fourth stop in this special FILA discussion series. And there couldn't be a more fitting stage. Ahmedabad isn't just Gujarat's growth engine, it's a symbol of Indian entrepreneurship at its best. From family trading houses that stood the test of time to global powerhouses leading exports in chemicals, pharma, and gems, this city knows how to build, adapt, and scale. The sessions today are centered around Ahmedabad's next leap: innovation, legacy, and leadership. Today, we will hear from the leaders who are answering those questions and redefining what the future of Indian family businesses looks like. Before moving further, we'd like to thank our esteemed partner, Federal Bank, for making this leadership circuit possible. And before we start the conversation, let's hear it from Mr. Ajit Kumar, Senior Vice President and Zonal Head, Federal Bank, his thoughts and perspectives behind this edition of the Leadership Circuit.
Welcome to all the leaders and our esteemed clients for this program. And Federal Bank is very proud to be associated with Forbes India Leadership Award for this leadership circuit. And speaking about Federal Bank, of course, we are having a legacy of 94 years when we started with a humble beginning from the state of Kerala, that is God's own country. And when we stay here as on date, I can proudly say we are having over 1,600 branches, out of which around 1,000 are out of the state of Kerala. That makes us a pan-Indian bank. And as far as 2025 is concerned, it is very important for Federal Bank because we have seen a lot of changes. One of which, because we have already crossed the 5 trillion mark last year, and we can proudly say we are the sixth largest private sector bank in the country. We are a workforce having more than 43% female ratio in the country, and which no other entity can be proud of. Coming to Gujarat, again, we are more proud because this year again marks many new things in the state of Gujarat. Earlier, I was heading Mumbai zone, and that time Mumbai zone consisted of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Goa, of course, Daman and Diu also. But all of you know that Gujarat and Maharashtra are two prominent states which are major contributors to the GDP. So we wanted special attention to both the states. So we started a new zone in this year, that is from April 23rd of 2025, that is headquartered in Ahmedabad. And this zone, that is Ahmedabad zone, consists of Gujarat, MP, Rajasthan, and Daman and Diu. The reason behind that is we know because it is not actually a leaping that is happening, a pole vaulting that is happening in Gujarat. And we need to be a part of that. And this edition also, I think, would be a great enabler for that. And I just want to again support you and tell you, like, Federal Bank is with you always. So welcome everyone to once again to this grand function.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's to an evening that honors Ahmedabad's legacy while looking squarely at the leap ahead. And with that, let's dive straight into our first conversation of the evening. Gujarat has always been the land of enterprise, and its next big story is technology. The state has the capital efficiency and the entrepreneurial spirit, and now the ambition to bridge Bharat and Silicon Valley, to not just participate in India's tech leap, but to shape it. To guide us through this discussion, please welcome Chandra R. Shrikant, and joining her on stage is a leader who brings a sharp policy lens to Gujarat's growth journey, Mona Kandar, Principal Secretary, Food, Civil and Supplies and Consumer Affairs, Government of Gujarat.
It's my first time in Ahmedabad, and I had a wonderful time discovering the city and its cuisine and its attractions. But it's so great to have you join us at the Forbes Leadership Circuit here. As Neni rightly said, Gujarat and Ahmedabad, by extension, has always been a very entrepreneurial city and entrepreneurial state. Some of the biggest billionaires in the country come from Gujarat. But the nature of the investments, nature of business is changing. In the last 12 months, for example, the state has set a very ambitious target of attracting a lot of semiconductor investments, semiconductor plants. We recently saw CG Power also inaugurating its plant here. Micron has also signaled intent. So take us through what is changing, in the Gujarat business landscape. Is there a shift from traditional businesses to more of frontier tech? If you can take us through that.
So, first of all, thank you for inviting me. And I think you are in Ahmedabad at the right time. The city is preparing for Navratri, so you'll see a lot of colors. So you're very right. Entrepreneurship, finance, professionalism, all this are running in the veins of Gujarat, particularly Ahmedabad. And if you see the no the industrial or manufacturing landscape, let me just inform you that Gujarat is the manufacturing powerhouse of India. Almost one fifth of India's manufacturing is in Gujarat, and it is scattered all over Gujarat. So you see, in Kutch, renewable energy, in Jamnagar, brass industry, in Morbi, ceramic industry, in Rajkot, engineering and related industry, even oil industry and all this in Rajkot. In northern India, you see that Mandal Bechraji special investment region, where we have Maruti Suzuki plant. Then in Ahmedabad, we have EV, auto industry, and now semiconductor, electronics, and number of other industries. Baroda, known for petrochemicals and chemicals. So is Bharuch. Surat is known for diamond, man-made fibers. So all this, the entire state is laden with, industry is found everywhere in the state. And you're very right. Some of them are legacy ones, but they are also transforming. And one very important thing that you might have noticed here, the legacy business, they are also diversifying. They are diversifying a lot, and they are building important partnerships, and we are moving very fast towards tech-based industry, or diversifying into tech-based industry. Now, when we talk about technology, the line between manufacturing and service is spreading very fast, especially when it comes to semiconductor, because there are fabless foundries. And that semiconductor, entire ecosystem for semiconductor, Gujarat has prepared itself very well. On one hand, we have Gift City, which provides an excellent opportunity for design-based or fabless kind of facilities. And on the other hand, we have Sanand, we have Dholera. Sanand is coming up as semiconductor hub, especially in packaging and OSAT kind of facilities, whereas Dholera is coming up as semicon city, mainly for the fab. So this is the kind of development that we are seeing, and supporting this is a very proactive policy framework of the state government, and of course central government is very, very proactive. Another very important thing which supports this entire ecosystem development is ease of doing business that we are leapfrogging towards. So Gujarat has always been ahead so far as ease of doing business is concerned, but specifically for semiconductor, we have gone several steps ahead, in the sense we have our policy framework has been totally aligned with that of central government. We have cut down all the repetitive procedures. So it takes very fast in providing regulatory approvals and things like that. You might have heard that TSMC is setting up its fab in Arizona in the US, and they have been facing regulatory problems and issues. But however, here, because of this kind of synergy, we also need to build our institutions to support this industry, and that we could do very fast compared to the time it used to take for legacy kind of industry. It is very, very fast when it comes to the changes that are required in SEZ framework or even labor laws. We are doing it very fast.
Right.
And along with that, even human resources. Now, human resources is a very important strength for us. In fact, the countries like Taiwan, even USA, Japan, South Korea, which are like traditionally very strong in tech industry, they all are facing this problem. They want to tap into our human resources, but that is our strength, and we are quite mindful of that. And that is the reason why we are setting up a kind of a framework for human resource development, not only by training and skilling but also in R&D. Now these are the sectors. When we talk about tech sectors, it requires constant R&D. It's very disruptive. You know about Moore's law, and now the kind of revolution we are seeing with AI led by NVIDIA and other firms. A constant R&D is required, and for that we need to build strength, capabilities of our human resources. So on all this front, Gujarat government is very proactive.
Right. In fact, so far we've seen Tata Electronics, Micron, and CG Power. Can we expect more in the semiconductor space? I think you had some target
Of course, I think this is only a
1.18
beginning.
lakh crore investments in semicon in the state or something like that.
That much we already have. We have already, I think we are reaching that. So we, of course, we expect many more to come. I think this is a good beginning, but we expect many more to come.
Right. One other aspect, that a lot of people were looking forward to was what will happen to Gift City. So far, the response has been mixed. Are you satisfied with the response? What else can the government do to make this very attractive?
So post-COVID, Gift City has been picking up quite well, and they have also taken a number of initiatives, and we are partnering with them. So our policies like IT enabled services, then Global Capability Center, even semiconductor, that is providing Philip a boost to Gift City as well. In addition to that, they are setting up a fintech hub there, and they have also partnered with number of academic institutions, national and of international stature, and a lot of push is given to startup, techfin and fintech. So we were working together, and we are seeing a very good response. Now we have all the leading national IT companies here, also a lot of international traction. There are leading banks from Japan, there are Bank of America, and number of Australian, European banks and financial institutions have opened their facilities in Gift City. And it is also being benefited by the upcoming semiconductor ecosystem in the state. For example, Infineon has opened their design center in Gift City, and number of other companies are also exploring the possibility.
Right. And, in terms of making the ecosystem attractive from a social point of view, making it more cosmopolitan, the kind of attractions that, say, a Bangalore would have, a Bombay would have, what are you doing in that direction?
So you mean attraction with
Yes,
the...
in terms of attractions for the people who will move to Gujarat.
Okay, so we are generating a lot of demand for human resources because of upcoming semiconductor and high-end electronics, and also electric vehicle and automobiles and renewable energy. All this or green energy, they are providing a lot of opportunities, and we are seeing that not only the technology experts, those who are like based in Gujarat and working in other states, they are coming back, not only from other states but also from other countries. They are coming back to Gujarat. We are seeing this reverse brain drain. Yes, reverse brain drain that we are seeing, and we are also attracting talent from other states. So this kind of trend has started building. And our STEM institutions, we have a very good network of STEM institutions. And some of them are like IIT Gandhinagar is progressing very well, and maybe you might see IIT Gandhinagar in top 5. The kind of collaborations they are building with the industry and with other international institutions, we are also supporting them a lot. Like the hub for capacity building that we are planning along with the central government, that we are planning at IIT Gandhinagar. We have already started a skilling center at PDEU in collaboration with Micron. So these are the kind of development, and we have one institute called nemtech, which is working very well in automation, in promoting automation. And these STEM institutions under Gujarat Technology University, they are also building their strength. They all have started several new courses in BTech, MTech, PhD level. So there is a lot of traction on this. And that will offer immense opportunities, not only for Gujarat, but also the states around. And we hope to see that Gujarat will only be the beginning, and this will spread across the country. And we will see India coming up as a semiconductor and high-end electronics hub and technology hub.
Right.
For
In
a
fact,
global
many entrepreneurs are leading the charge right in this room, from water to organics to cloud to EV and mobility. But I want to ask you, many years ago, Vibrant Gujarat was a one of its kind investment event that sort of was a star attraction. And then every state started having its own version of Vibrant Gujarat and Global Investor Meet. And now the competition has really gone up in terms of what states are willing to do to attract investments. I think the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu was abroad, the Industry Minister of Tamil Nadu was abroad. Andhra Pradesh has been rolling out the red carpet in terms of giving away land at throwaway prices. So, in such a scenario, how difficult has it been for you to continue to attract investments to Gujarat when there are so many states jostling for these investments? Karnataka, despite all the traffic, is positioning itself as the GCC hub.
Yes, so Karnataka is a GCC hub, and it's very heartening that all the states are working hard, and they are looking for opportunities, and they are seizing the opportunities. But I think for all states, there are ample of opportunities. So I don't think it's so that if one state surges ahead, the others will be left out, but they all will be more inspired. And you are not taking names like UP, Odisha, no, who are also very hungry for development, and
Madhya
they are
Pradesh
also,
also,
yeah,
yeah.
they all, I mean, all states are more or less working very well. And it's very heartening. We will have a national ecosystem. Karnataka started for GCC, but it is now spilling over. It's spilled over to neighboring states. It's spilling over to
Telangana
Gujarat,
as well,
yeah,
yeah.
Maharashtra. So similar thing will happen in other sectors as well, including semiconductor and electronics. So it's good that we have a healthy competition, but it should not be like unviable competition. Like it has to be
What would you
sustainable.
describe as unviable?
Unviable, I mean, we have to have sustainable policies. It should not so happen that the state finances or their state economy
Is coming under strain because of
yes.
this.
So it needs to be sustainable, and it needs to be inclusive as well. So that is very important. There should be healthy competition. It's a good thing to be inspired by each other's efforts. However, it needs to be sustainable.
Right. We also have startups in the room. We have funds like, the Gujarat Venture Fund and IMA Ventures. Tell us about the startup ecosystem in Ahmedabad. How is that picking up? How important is it for the government?
So, startup, GCCs, these are picking up very well. GCC is actually the ecosystem of startup. includes even this design GCCs, because GCCs provide a lot of service through startups, through R&D divisions, and startup also requires a lot of R&D support from academia, from industry. So considering all that, startup and GCCs have really picked up very well in Gujarat, and especially Ahmedabad and Baroda. They are among the top tier 2 cities. And Ahmedabad accounts for 17% of GCCs in tier 2 cities. And Baroda is also coming up very well, and Surat and Rajkot are also following the suit. So, startup, we have iHub, we have AI Center of Excellence. We also have a number of other incubators. We have a big setups of TCS, of L&T. L&T Infotech is doing very well in Baroda. So this kind of setups they have been developed very well. And Gift City and other private sector infrastructure for IT and GCCs, they are also propelling the growth, and they are supporting this kind of startup. So all this IT parks and IT cities, they have a special kind of space for startup. They are providing a lot of support to startup, and the policies of government of Gujarat, they are also very conducive for startup. So, and we are seeing a very good growth so far as exports are concerned. Again, in tier 2 cities, Gujarat is leading. Gujarat cities are leading, especially Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad. They are leading. So, again, startups are coming up very well. And we will need many more of them, especially in electronics, in space tech. Gujarat was the first state to come out with a policy for semiconductor. Again, it's the first state to announce a policy on space tech. Or space tech, again, promotes startups to a great extent. Our GCC policy promotes startup to a great extent. If any company supports startup for their GCC kind of services, then they also get additional benefits as an incubator or accelerator or investor. So our policies have done a lot of traction for supporting, building, nurturing, promoting startup ecosystem.
Right. We recently saw the government roll out reforms as far as GST was concerned, and it's expected to give a big fillip to consumer demand and sentiment. What will be the next leap of reforms at a state level for Gujarat? What can we expect in the next 1 year? You mentioned semiconductor, you mentioned startups and AI, but what next?
This AI, quantum computing. Now, quantum technologies are again very important, and very recently we signed an MOU to set up a quantum technology park at Dholera. So, though quantum computing is supposed to be now next thing to follow, but we should not be late in that. So, state is supporting that from the very beginning. Our policy includes all these futuristic technologies. So, besides AI, quantum technologies and a number of other technologies, they all are part of deep tech. And we are also working on setting up a deep tech mission. Another very important thing is to have science and technology clusters. So science and technology clusters, the WIPO, they globally come out with a report on science and technology clusters, like top 100 science and technology clusters. So in India, there are 4. And we are also planning to build this kind of S&T clusters in Gujarat. So these S&T clusters, they support research and development, and there is a network of laboratories, human resources. They nurture human resources for taking up R&D. So that kind of clusters become very important, and they will provide going forward an excellent support for startups and for GCCs. So these are the vision that government is having.
Right.
Yeah.
Last couple of questions, ma'am. In terms of the challenges for businesses operating here in your meetings with industries or with entrepreneurs, what's the one or two issue that would come up, and how are you tackling that? For example, in Karnataka, one clear issue would be infrastructure. um, and traffic. Yesterday, a startup founder said that, they're pulling out of a particular area in Bangalore because of the traffic. So, like that, what would the one or two challenges be for Gujarat from an entrepreneur perspective, from a business perspective, and how are you tackling that?
So, as I mentioned, we need to build our institutions. We are
More of technology talent and
technology talent. That is right, and also uh, industry or sector like semiconductor. They really need a very high end utilities, very high end industrial infrastructure.
they also need very
Though
specialized talent, right, in terms of chip
exactly.
design and
Yes, exactly. So even though Gujarat leads in industrial infrastructure, we have more than 235 industrial estates built by GIDC. However, the kind of industrial infrastructure and kind of utilities required by semiconductor and by high-end electronics is two notch up, not one but two notch up. So that is one thing. Like for Dholera, the fab that Tata is building, it requires 100% redundancy for power, and not only at distribution but at source level also. So there has to be 100% redundancy for source of power, for distribution of power, same with water, same with gas. So these are the kind of the logistics that they require. It has to be very, very seamless, and very quick processing. They want that kind of processing by the customs, and clearance by customs, and movement of this very, very sensitive goods and
yeah.
machineries. So all that is going to be there, and we are quite mindful of this. And this is the reason why Gujarat is leading, because government is pumping equal money. Not only that, we have a very proactive fiscal support framework along with the central government, but equal amount we are putting in this kind of very high end infrastructure. So that is another thing. And what you mentioned is human resources. So again, we are putting a lot of resources into human resource development as well.
right.
Yeah.
Finally, as one of the top bureaucrats in the state, take us through the female participation in workforce. Are you satisfied with the levels it is there in Gujarat? What can be done to improve that? Because I think that is something that needs to improve at a national level also for India.
Okay. So now I'm seeing a lot of participation. Like when I belong to 96 batch of IAS. At that time, out of 80, only 12 women officers, lady officers were there.
12 out of 80.
Yes, 12 out of 80. But now we are seeing almost 50, or at times even more than 50%. So it's very heartening that women participation is improving. Yeah, the senior lady officers, uh, we heard stories from them that there used to be skepticism for posting lady officers in field as district collector, or assigning them to challenging roles. But now no more like that. And Honorable PM Mr. Modi, who was CM of Gujarat for 12 years, in fact, lot of changes took place during his time, and that gender sensitiveness increased so much, and that entire perception changed, and lady officers, they started getting challenging assignments during his regime. In fact, at times it was told that he had more faith in sensibility and honesty of lady officers. That is the change that we have seen. And in fact, I have been working on assignments which were given for the first time to lady officer. Like, I was a principal secretary, science and technology. I was the first lady secretary of that department. I was posted as Minister Economic and Commerce at Embassy of India, Tokyo. First lady again to be given that post there. So we have seen a number of first. Our senior, like the late Srimati Manjula Subramaniam, she was the first lady chief secretary there. So number of such first for women happened, and it has continued very well. So that is very heartening. However, I mean, there are still challenges, and but we are very hopeful seeing the trend. The approach is changing. Approach towards lady officers are changing. But there are all types of people. So I think still, that mindset continues to be changed, and perception needs to be further built upon for the capabilities of women. Now we are seeing women pilots so often. So no, that glass ceiling is breaking very fast, and that is very heartening.
Great. On that note, thank you very much for talking to us. A huge round of applause for her.
My pleasure.
Who continues to break glass ceilings with every post. But thank you very much,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for joining us. Our next session takes us right into the heart of Gujarat's business story. Family enterprises here have always stood for resilience and scale, but the real question is, how do they balance purpose with performance as they lead India into its $5 trillion future? That's exactly what this conversation will explore. To guide the discussion, please welcome Naini Thakur from Forbes India. And joining her are industry leaders who truly embody Gujarat's legacy and leadership. Mr. Sanjay Singhal, the CEO of Wagh Bakri. Please come up on stage. Mr. Tejinder Oberoi from Signet One, and Shiroy Mehta, co-founder, Ava Water. Very, very happy to be here and have all of you join me for this discussion. As we get started, I have with me three very, very interesting companies and leaders from three very interesting companies as well. Before we begin, Sanjay sir, I'd like to start with you and try and understand what legacy really means for you as you are building and growing a brand which is practically, in every Ahmedabadi's DNA, as one would say, right? Which is Wagh Bakri. So tell me, what does legacy mean to you, and how does that become a part of your leadership style?
No, so firstly, thank you to Forbes for inviting. And I've sort of been in Ahmedabad for 1 year, and I agree with you, it's a beautiful city. I mean, obviously, we are in the food area, we're a tea company. And one thing obviously is the truth that, especially in a category like tea, or be it milk or many categories like masalas, consumers want consistency of taste. And that consistency of taste comes from a brand promise, be it a Wagh Bakri or be it a Tata Tea, for example. It also comes from you understanding the raw material. See, because when if you are selling a Ashirwad Atta or a pouch of milk of Amul or a Wagh Bakri tea, you're selling, let's say, crores of packs every year. So legacy is not only about what you see as the branding, but it's also about your legacy understanding built over 40, 50 years of what it takes in your supply chain to buy crores of kgs of tea from many, many partners across the country, your plantations. It also means that as a legacy company, do you have that accumulated generational learning across your own ecosystem in the company, that how do you blend the various varieties of teas and give a consistent kadak cup of tea across the 6 crore kgs of tea we sell. So I think legacy is one about the brand. It's about the brand promised. But to me, it's more about the, let's say, the accumulated organizational learning. And that learning, obviously, no food company today, and there are many, many senior people here, can win if your partners don't win. So we are very proud that any legacy company will have your distributors, your suppliers. We buy tea from many suppliers in North India and South India. So they also are part of our ecosystem for 40, 50 years, and that's how the entire ecosystem moves together.
Absolutely. Shiroy, coming to you, leading as being a second generation entrepreneur and leading a brand like Ava, how is it that you continue to build with scale while balancing that legacy aspect of things?
It's not so difficult actually, because I am having the advantage of being second generation and my father was the first generation. The first thing that happens in this type of setups is that the first generation teaches the entire meaning of the word money to the second generation for every single thing that they do in their initial years. So I am extremely frugal. I have got it from my first generation. I don't know how to operate other than in a frugal way. It doesn't mean that I like to cut corners. It's just that you have to respect that uh, you have to respect the fact that money is made by saving, not just by earning it. So that is, I think, one of the most important things that comes down from a first generation to the second generation. Another the flip side of it is that sometimes the value systems are different. Wrong word actually. Value system is the same, but the style of working and the leadership style is different. There is also a different understanding of the value of what you have in your hand, because one has built it, the other has to take it forward. So I always believe that to start something is extremely difficult. What I have got is from already made from 0 to 100, and to take it from 100 to 1000, you don't have to worry about whether you will have enough money in the bank or not. You don't have to worry about putting together a team or not. You don't have to worry about anything that is basic in your life. It's like getting up in the morning, you don't think whether you want to brush your teeth. So this is something similar. I don't have to get up and worry about my accountant, or I have to worry about operations team. It's set. So what do I as an entrepreneur have to do? I get up in the morning and I ensure that I build business. I retain the values that are given to me, and I am frugal, because I don't think that businesses today can function without that.
Can you give us some anecdotes in terms of the kind of changes that you had to bring about that was, say, different from that of your father's, and how challenging was it for you?
Uh, so there are many changes, but I was just discussing with sir outside that people are legacy businesses don't change much. If they do, then those changes are so small, so minute, that a brand owner will notice them or the legacy business would notice them, but they want that the public absorbs all these changes slowly. If you talk about an anecdote with dad, my dad, so he's the original founder of Ava. I am just an employee at Ava. And I remember when I joined the factory, he had a unique system. He says, I want every bottle checked. So that time he used to do it manually at 6, 7 people, flipping each bottle and checking it, putting it back, going ahead. So he was basically taking a 300 bottle per minute line, making it manual, and then again converting it into automation. So there was a big process gap there. So I was in touch with a lot of manufacturers, and luckily one very reputed manufacturer called Sakmi, they had one project in Dubai which got cancelled. So their team called me up and said, we have some nice conveyors. Would you like to come and have a look at it? I said, yeah, sure. I went with my team. I saw them. I said, okay, I think I can modify this and automate that entire process to avoid, कि checking भी होगा और automatic भी हो जाएगा. So I completed that process and everything got automated. So when my father comes into the plant, this is 12 years ago, he doesn't come anymore, unfortunately, because he's doing better things. He doesn't like doing all that. So he comes into the plant and he calls me up. He says, you come here right now. So I went there. He's like, ये कैसे हो रहा है? This is not proper. This is the problem. That is the problem. So I said, you write down all your difficulties. I will address them. So he wrote down 6, 7 points. कि light को ऐसे हिलाओ, ये करो, वो करो. But today, I am proud to say that very system which I set up with his improvements. Today we make 4 lakh bottles every day. Each and every bottle is checked.
Wow. Fantastic.
Even today it is checked.
Amazing.
And I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
You preserve the legacy and
Absolutely.
you take it forward in your own way
Correct.
rather than changing it all around,
Yeah.
because sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, so coming to you, you know, I mean, you're building Signet from Ahmedabad and not from, you know, India, Silicon Valley, which is Bangalore. And Signet's always been Ahmedabad based for many, many, many years now. Tell me, before we get into the Ahmedabad side of things, what does it mean for you to be, you know, working with tech giants and building our tech talents from, you know, here and building a tech giant of sorts from here?
Actually, it has been a better journey than being into a Silicon Valley or Bangalore, than to be in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
It's a far more receptive and a homely city than possibly Bangalore or Pune or Gurgaon is. You have much better family life, you have much better quality of life in Ahmedabad.
Better
In terms of-
infrastructure also.
Much better infrastructure. Like my son, we went to my in-laws' place and there was a inverter lying there and he asked, "What is this?" Because we don't have that kind of a device in Ahmedabad. And then when you talk about talent, see, communication, I think we are working to improve. You're from Ahmedabad and you have an excellent communication skills. Communication may be slightly on the lower side, but talent is not on the lower side. So anybody who says, so basically what is happening is there's a talented guy who's not able to present himself very well in front of somebody and therefore he's available to you at a better price. And you're able to utilize his skills and deliver what the world needs. So throughout our journey of about 25 years, we have been export centric. We've sold abroad and we have had a very satisfied set of customers. We've not been great marketeers, but we've been very good at retaining our customers because our customers loved what we delivered to them.
Yeah.
Our total DNA is purely Ahmedabadi and it has worked for us.
When was there never a conversation in these 25 years that Signet's had where, say, a customer or, you know, when you reach out to other people, when you're meeting, say, other startup founders in the country, was there never a conversation internally, you know, of you guys probably shifting out of the city?
We failed every time we tried.
Could you tell us about some of those times?
So let's say I go and set up an office in Pune.
Okay.
And I probably roll out, let's say I set up a small office in Pune. Nobody knows my brand there. I am able to roll out a few offer letters. The joining periods probably are 45 to 60 days. And by the time the joining time comes, there's hardly anybody joining me because they've already taken the letters, gone to another company and taken an offer there. In Ahmedabad, even during COVID, when people said we can't find guys, an offer from Signet and there was a 95% probability that a candidate will join you.
Wow.
So that is my branding here.
Yeah.
I don't have that branding in Bangalore or
Pune or anywhere else. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have a far more stronger local branding, which has allowed me to attract the best talent out of the city.
Very interesting.
So it has worked for me to be in Ahmedabad.
Fantastic.
Like, we found our way out. Like we learned the jugards of Ahmedabad to be the best from Ahmedabad.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanjay, so do you think that that's the case when it comes to talent as well? What has been your experience having been someone who's primarily from Bangalore and has seen that recent shift to Ahmedabad?
So, you know, in the last 1 year, I have discovered one thing, that there is a way in which Gujarati companies work. And you mentioned frugality. I think there are other aspects. There is a certain system to working in a Gujarati company.
Okay.
And of course, he's in FMCG, he's in IT.
Yeah.
But if you look at all over India, which are the companies which are taking away the growth in FMCG today? Look at snacks. You have Gopal Snacks, you have
Yes.
Pratap Snacks.
Yes.
Look at ice creams, I think out of the top 5 ice cream companies, 3 are sitting here.
Correct.
Right? You look at milk, NDDB was created here. Wag Bakri is a small company, but we are amongst the top 3 and fastest growing. So it is not only about the talent that Sir mentioned, and I agree with him that, it is not about the fancy presentation skills. Companies grow, enterprise grow, and countries grow. And Modi ji is a great example, right? He was ultimately, we feel very proud in वाघ बकरी. Cheap thrills होती है एक चीज कि मोदी जी चाय बेचते थे, शायद वाघ बकरी की बेचते थे. On a cheap thrill perspective, I'm just joking, okay? But he's very kind. He goes to any ITC hotel. My previous employee asked for वाघ बकरी tea, so I got a call. But on a serious note, I think it is not about the spokes and mirrors sir spoke about. Enterprises, countries, companies grow when people work hard, they collaborate, and there's a hunger for learning. And I think that is there. Frugality is very important. There's a certain working culture in Gujarat. I think it is a tradition, it is a culture. And number two, I think there is a quest for excellence. Because my experience in 1 year is whenever I've thrown out that challenge to any of my teams, they may not know what to do. They have not done it in the past. They'll work 24 hours, 72 hours. They will say, okay, let me challenge myself and make it happen.
Nice.
So I think that is the Gujarati culture. It is not only about the employees,
Yeah.
individuals. It's also about the entire ecosystem has come together
Absolutely.
and created. I used to work in ITC for 10 years, and the chairman of ITC would say that please go and study Gujarati companies. There's something which is there. So after being here for 1 year, I think there's something here.
Wow. Talking about Gujarati companies, Shiroy, we were talking earlier about building from Ahmedabad. Can you expand a little on that and tell us why, even when you sort of took over, you continued to grow from this city?
For me, unfortunately,
Okay.
in terms of locating to another city, I am a production-based FMCG company, right? Ava is a mineral water. So we have to ensure that our production, we stay where our production is. We are from here, so that's where I will be based out of. But I don't think that, Adani, Torrent, all these companies are being made right here from this very city. And people from all around the world are coming to Ahmedabad, working here. Forget coming to Ahmedabad for business. Even talk about Coldplay or you talk about sporting events. Ahmedabad is now going to be on the map for Commonwealth Games. It's probably going to be on the map for the Olympics. And if you read some of the reviews of what people experience when they came here for a big concert like Coldplay, I mean, why would you even think of any other city? I was telling sir that, I think I was telling you that at 9:30 in the night when I will finish my work and I want to go and meet my friend, I live near the airport. So it takes me 15 minutes to probably reach here in this part of town or half an hour to go to the other part of town. I couldn't have done it in a city like Mumbai. Another big aspect is Ahmedabad, like Sanjay sir pointed, it's the fact that we don't have weekends off. In any major business house in Ahmedabad or Gujarat, you work from Monday to Saturday. You don't take a break on Saturday. I don't know about others, but I don't have any fixed working time. I'm an entrepreneur. I work throughout the day. But my employees, they work Monday to Saturday. I think that they do it happily. They don't have any problem. They only ask if free dress pen sakte kya on Saturday. I mean, that's the only thing
I
that.
hope you let them.
Yeah, we all do. But the whole point is that culture of getting up in the morning, turning up for work, contributing, and I think that has pulled Gujarat ahead than others. People want to unwind. Like I just can't set up a warehouse in Goa. It's been 15 years because they take a break in the afternoon. You can't make them do a delivery of water in the afternoon. You just can't. So you have to depend on a partner there. In Ahmedabad, in cities like Rajasthan, Jaipur, there is a different work culture, different zeal to earn money, to make a living. And yeah, difficult to find people at lower job levels here because Gujarat mein people would rather start a tea stall and earn their own money than work. But still, we never have had a problem in finding people who want to come here. I mean, if you are not starting industry or doing business in Gujarat, then you're not doing the right thing. I think it's like the most pro business environment you'll ever get anywhere in the world as of today.
Absolutely. And, Sanjay sir, coming back to you, you took, charge as a leader for a family-run legacy business. How different is it, to run, I mean, in terms of culture, when you take charge? And what kind of leadership changes do you need to bring into the work culture to ensure probably efficiency and help grow the company fast?
So I'm quite old. So I've worked for 15 years in Unilever, and I've worked for 10 years in ITC, which could be as true blue a professional company, as you would call it. And I've worked for 10 years in Dabar, and now I'm working in Wagh Bakri. Honestly, I don't think it really matters. A most professional company can be run in a most unprofessional manner, and a family company can be run in the most professional way. That is my conclusion, because ultimately what matters is how a company is run. Labels don't make a company. And I'll go back to my point. I'm working in Wagh Bakri, but even I've found most Gujarati companies are extremely professionally led, because what is professionally? It is not that you have fancy MBAs, though I'm an MBA. It is about saying that is your decision making rational, logical? Are you promoting talent? Are you promoting a healthy, positive debates in your company, in your organization? So I don't think that that's something that a company like Wagh Bakri or a Gujarat company lacks, because I think what I have seen is that merit always wins, and ultimately that's what defines a professional company. Yes, there are differences. There are differences. अब मुद्दा ये है कि if you're working in a Unilever, I mean, your family member may be sitting somewhere in London and deciding some things for you. Your family member, in the case of Wagh Bakri, is sitting in the same building. I think that is the only difference. Beyond that, छोटे मोटे differences हैं, but I believe that in any family or in any company, if your objectives are aligned, you will find a way out. And I think objectives are aligned. It is all about growing the organization, getting more consumers. So honestly, I don't really feel a difference.
Very interesting. Upriya, so when one talks about sort of leadership style, right? In a tech company, I mean, there's a lot of like talent churn that kind of happens. The freshers that you bring in. Tell me, what is the role of empathy, transparency, and agility? In a sense, particularly for a modern leader today.
I think it has to be a nature of a person to be that. So basically, see, in this, you're working on a product or a project which is not tangible.
Okay.
You really cannot feel or touch it. So you possibly need to connect with your employee at a far more deeper level. Like you need to connect with your partner at home, you need to virtually connect with your employee also at that level. If he is reading you rightly and you are reading him rightly, then only the right message will come, and then only the right kind of development can happen. So he has to have the same empathy when he's dealing with the client, because if he gets the requirement wrong, or if there is an understanding gap between the two, you will have a product which will look very different than what you were planning to get. So I think the technology companies require people to think or think at the same levels. They need to be at the same thought processes. You need teams which can actually understand the gist very, very quickly. And that
what about like an innovation-led mindset? Is that I mean, how do you kind of inculcate that?
The basic idea is you need to be open to see technology. Let's say I passed out in 91.
Okay.
So whatever I studied is virtually not relevant. The changes in technology were happening at a 5 to 8 year cycle. Now they're happening much faster. So let's say if you have a guy who's done 5 to 7 years, he may have the skills or experience, but the new technology is with the guy who's from 0 to 2 years. Now you need this guy to work with the guy who has experience of 5 to 7 years to deliver to project managers who passed out 35, 40 years back. Now, how do you gel your whole stream if you do not have empathy, if you do not click with them, if you just boss around, you can't really get anything out of them. So we have the technology purely with the freshers. And the project deliveries have to happen with guys who have experience. They are also out of touch if they don't keep in touch with the technology. So this is the scenario that's happening in the IT world. We really cannot feel. So we have to welcome our fresh talent. We have to see that people are able to adapt to those technologies and deliver using those technologies, because things are going much faster at a pace therein we cannot keep up with all that technology. So trust there has to be kept.
Absolutely. Highly, highly fast paced. Shirai, I wanted to, understand from you as you're leading Ava, which is extremely fast growing, you're scaling it up further and further. How do you sort of, as a leader, balance, say, short term results with that long term vision of seeing Ava at a certain level?
I personally uh, truly like to think very long term, like 10 saal,
So what's
15
that
saal.
end goal for
The,
you?
the end goal is quite simple. Like, personally, I believe in a business. You run a business for two things. You have your own family. It's my family. My people are my family. You grow your family and you make money. Now, most of the times, what happens is that when you're thinking short term, you think of only one of the things. So either you're thinking about them or you're thinking about making money. You can't have both together. You have to plan properly to make sure that they both develop together. In my case, because I had started from uh, I feel that when it comes to scaling and when it comes to building, you have to have at least a 5 to 7 year horizon in terms of investing in machinery, in terms of launching new products. Because also you have to accept the fact that yeah, I may have to change my path in 5 years. For example, my dad kept telling me in 2011 when I joined the business, 11th November, I only want one thing from you. You have to sell Ava to anybody who wants Ava in India. In 10 minutes, you have to get it there. I keep scratching
Your
my
dad
head.
was much ahead of
Maybe
time.
I had a plan then that I will put warehouses across India. I only managed in 17 locations. Then in May 2025, I started with Blinkit, and his dream came true in a minute. So the point is that
Really?
5 to 7 years horizon of planning is in a, is a no brainer. You have to have at least a 5 year horizon when you plan, but knowing fully well that there might be a game changing. Like for example, right now on 22nd of this month, GST, my duty structure of mineral water has become reversed. We've gone from 18% to 5%. So whatever plans I had, whatever thoughts I had with regards to my investments, my business, everything changes. But I at least know that, at the end of 5 years, this is what I had envisioned. Or at the end of 10 years, this is what I had envisioned. So I know where to go. So let me rephrase my answer. I think you need to know where you want to go. And you need to know that I won't get there fast. But you cannot guarantee that whether you will reach there in your predetermined time or not. But you can do nothing in this world to make a quick buck. If you're thinking of that, then you're bound to fail.
And you have to be okay to be agile
You
constantly.
have to be
Yeah.
agile. And today, after COVID, if you have lost agility, then you should retire and you should do a job. You should not do a business. It's as simple as that. Agility is name of the game.
Very, very interesting. In terms of, one always talks about how failures or tough times sort of teaches a leader, the best. What have been some of your lessons that you learned, or some of these, super tough times where you had to kind of make some tough calls and get out of it?
So I was 32 years old, 31 years old when COVID came. I remember 1st May 2021, it's a second wave, I did sale of 0 rupees. 0 rupees material. Why? All airlines are closed, all airports are closed, all hotels are shut, all restaurants are shut. And I have to pay salary. I have to pay my vendors. I have to go to factory every day. because if I don't go, staff gets demotivated. After, I mean, that was a tough phase, or I mean, when you see zero business, you know, okay, there's something amiss. During that tough time, I was fortunate to have a partner in my sister, Avanti, and we started our online business. We made good use of the opportunity. I also put for the first time my engineering knowledge to some type of use, and I built a logistics delivery app for my company. So my drivers and my team helpers could, finally automate the logistics process, because we do 2,000 deliveries a day along with producing the water. So I did that. So I guess that after COVID, I realized that first, only one mistake that I made was I didn't invest during COVID. My father kept telling me, this too shall pass. You have not to worry. It's okay if you lose some money. But I had invested in my glass bottle line then. I'm installing it today as we speak. So I lost 4 years of my growth in my closed fistedness and scared approach. Maybe I was 31. If I was 51 and if COVID happens again, Ava will become 5 times. If I get an opportunity like this again, I'll make it 5 times larger, because I know what to do during this time. So you can only, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
I think that's the crux of it.
Clearly, digital transformation, I think, took off big time in COVID. Oberoi sir, I can't not talk to you when we talk about digital transformation. What are some sectors that you're really seeing sort of pick up, in terms of the clients that you work with very closely when it comes to digital transformation? And AI, of course.
I think, see, AI has changed the game, whether we accept it or like AI for every common person has become like WhatsApp now. So I think talking about AI adoption is not a question now. It has already been adopted. Now the only thing is, how do businesses use it for their transformation? So it's so simple that, let's say, a content writer, earlier businesses used to have content writers. I was sitting with a press guy yesterday, and I remember I've been interacting with him for last 12 to 15 years. And he had a press release. He shared it with me, and we converted it into a press note to go for press in less than a second. So, and we tried a few more things, and he realized that something that used to take him 8 hours, he could possibly do 8 stories in 8 hours. Now, that's the kind of speed up that is happening on many such scenarios. Now, the only question is, you use AI with empathy, you use AI with human touch, and you have a solution. You use AI only as a technology, and there are gaps. You will basically be still able to benefit from it, but it'll have its own challenges. So how you use it will only determine the output. But talking about whether AI will be adopted, I think it has already been adopted. It is almost as friendly or as popular. I saw somebody trying to learn tarot cards with AI.
Wow.
I know somebody who was using it for astro, and it was giving better predictions than an astrologer.
Wow.
So let's stop worrying about what will happen.
Absolutely.
I think we've already adopted it.
Correct.
We have to declare that we have adopted it.
Sanjay sir, coming to you, of course, adoption has been probably was the easier part with chat GPT and all of us kind of using it on a day-to-day. But as a business, using tech as an enabler, how tough has it been, making that change, particularly when you have, a lot of your team members who probably are quite traditional in a sense, how has it been in getting them to adopt to these new technologies?
So could I answer that by widening your definition of technology
Sure.
from chat GPT and AI, which is the most sexy part of technology, to a
Yeah.
wider thing?
Fair.
And I think that, again, I go back I'm not trying to say Wagh Bakri is a great company. Every company in Gujarat does a wonderful job. But when I joined here, I fell off my chair because I thought the company I came from was one of the most sustainable companies in the world. But I came to Wagh Bakri, realized that 45%, now 50% of my energy requirement in the factories is met by solar. Wagh Bakri setup, it is very interesting. You've heard of those fancy Amazon, sir, जानते हैं चलाते भी होंगे, those ASRS warehouses where you order in Amazon or Blinkit, the robots go, they pick up the product, then they pack it. So I was very surprised. Wagh Bakri set up the first unit of ASRS, which is 3 levels up, 45 years back. And the inspiration came from, guess who? Reserve Bank of India. तो RBI in Delhi, they print notes 5 रुपए, 10 रुपए, 50 रुपए, 100 रुपए. तो वो करोड़ों रुपए का कहीं रखते होंगे वेयर हाउस में. तो वहाँ से जब निकालना होता था, तो ये रोबोट जाते थे, निकालते थे, वहाँ से इंस्पिरेशन आया. Now, again, very proud thing for a Gujarat company. Wagh Bakri has set up in Gujarat the biggest ASRS building in the country. Basically, it's a 6th level up storage where we are storing teas. And so I think technology is very well used. But the difference is that many companies will find globally using technology just for the tashan of it. The difference, what he said, my friend on the left said, is that companies in Gujarat use it to get real business benefit. So that is the difference. Technology, when used for solving a business problem, will be a multiplier than technology just being used for the hell of it. I think that's the difference I've experienced.
Fantastic. Shiro, your thoughts on the same?
I think that I'm an engineer, and I use technology in every single aspect of my life. So does company now. But I have a nice anecdote to share here as regards to legacy, and that is that I feel that people of my father's generation, older generation, are more adaptive, are more receptive to taking part and adopting technology than the new generation. It's like this: easier to work with a fresher than an experienced candidate because they don't have to unlearn anything. So I feel that now with technology, you may be surprised to see people with older and little bit out of touch with technology performing much better than the younger people with technology. So very interesting times where you think that a young man will be good at a certain job, but now that chat GPT is to be used, maybe the mature person may be able to use it better. So that's what sir said, that there is to be a thought process now in using technology. You can't just copy paste because chat GPT is doing that job for you, but you can't copy paste the wrong thing using chat GPT also. I think that's the difference.
I had some work coming back on my table wherein my teammate said that you help me do this because my prompts don't get me the same answer that your prompts get me.
Oh, wow. Well, I think in the interest of time, we will need to close this session. Thank you all so very much for being here. This was such a fun conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, for the final session of the evening, let's have conversations with the disruptors. Gujarat's startup ecosystem is buzzing with fresh ideas, digital first thinking, and bold ambition. And if legacy enterprises are the foundation, these young ventures are the accelerators of the state's growth story. To lead the conversation once again, please welcome Chandra, and joining her are innovators and enablers driving this ecosystem forward. Please put your hands together for Abhilash Maurya, co-founder and CEO, Nakstra Labs, Mihir Joshi, MD, GVFL, Swaroop Pandya, Manager, Seed Investments and Acceleration, IIMA Ventures, and Nilab Jha, co-founder and CTO, Greenway Mobility. Let's explore how innovation is powering Gujarat's next big leap.
Great talking to the startup and the investor ecosystem in Ahmedabad. Just wanted to get your opening thoughts rather. What makes Gujarat an attractive destination for startups today compared to other Indian states? Your opening thoughts. Mihir, maybe you can start.
So, with my experience so far, the point is Gujarat it offers everything from a talent to ideation to support system and everything. And if you are away from noise, I tell to many of the founders who are, and many times even after accepting our check, they go to a Bangalore saying that there's where the talent is. The point is, with my experience, what is that you need to focus on execution. The execution can be possible if you are away from the noise. And I see many of the startup now in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. If I tell like a small, now a bigger city, not to a metro level, Surat. We never had an investment for last several years, but in last 1.5 years, we invested 8 startups. So the kind of culture, the ecosystem and everything is shaping up in these cities is tremendous.
So Bangalore is a distraction, according to you.
Too much distraction. So distraction to the founder. Then there are many people who will either giving a check or will manipulate with so many advices. Then you will have own people whom necessarily you can't control. There could be attrition, there could be confusion among the team. Even if you are not celebrating, but the people or the companies in your left or right are celebrating for some reason, then also these people will feel demotivated. भाई हमारे में कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. So and the point is there is no loyalty because the culture itself start growing. कि आपके attrition यहाँ तक है कि आपका co-founder भी कल आपके पास होगा कि नहीं होगा वो भी problem है. So the point is कि if you are away from all those noise, and the point is being an investor also, I visualize many of the times and tell to myself, okay, if I am closer to the ecosystem, so the deal accessibility is everybody. So I access the same kind of deal. Even my people and everything go to Bangalore or any part of India and we invest pan India. But if you are closer to the ecosystem, the point is you are likely to go with the wave, the sentiments, the perception. And in venture capital, always it happens that the particular sector or perception will have a ride. So everybody would like to ride on the bulls wave that, okay, and the valuation, everything will go haywire, right? So the point is if you are away, naturally you are likely to make lower mistakes. You can observe, you can take your conviction. If you like it, you can invest. So there are many pros than cons.
Right.
And in our business, the point is whether you are a startup founder or whether you are investors, you will have a reason to celebrate. But one mistake, it can make you fail. And for a founder, it is too much risky. For an investor, it is a portfolio broad base. So in a way, if you end up investing in 20 startup, maybe 3 or 4 may survive scale. It could be because you have chosen a good startup, or it could be that you could be lucky. And I will believe if you could be lucky, that is something which can work. But for a startup, if there is one mistake, and mistake could be, and many times, it's a premature fundraise.
Yeah.
If it does not work, the having money and if it is premature, you are likely to fail, and nobody remembers failure, and hence nobody learn out of it.
Right. Interesting perspective there. Before I go to the founders on the panel, Swaroop, would you agree? Mihir says that Bangalore can be a distraction for founders. So his advice is to stay here, put your head down and execute, because there's a lot of FOMO there in terms of who is raising what, kiska valuation बढ़ गया है, मेरा क्यों घट गया है, you know, those kind of games. Would you agree?
Yeah, so agreeing with Mihir, and just to add on top of it, I like while setting up your shop in Ahmedabad, you'll have interesting access to good talent. So Ahmedabad and Gujarat has all the institute starting from IMA, which is a premium B school in Asia, IIT Gandhinagar, we have a communication school, MICA, NID for design. Other side, you have Atira for the textile research. We have InSpace for space authorization. So all these technical institute alongside academic institute, you have all access to good talent. All founders have to figure out that how do you kind of find these talent and kind of excite them for work you're doing. Then it's done. As Mir was mentioning that be away from the noise, and I mean that's a good idea that your cost of operating will be little less compared to metros, and that will actually add lot to kind of day-to-day operations. And while now travel is quite easy, and I mean you can actually figure out a lot of things digitally, And even Gujarat has a lot of advantage of contract manufacturing setup from traditionally. So that also adds a lot of value while you have good access to talent versus you have access to contract manufacturing setup through different vendors. So if you calculate everything in a way, it's good. And even we see these stories. I mean, in India broadly, tier twos are picking up these wavelength, and even startups and even GCs are trying to get into cities like Hyderabad,
Yeah, like
Pune.
Mona Khandar
Correct,
also
correct. So,
mentioned.
like ma'am
Yeah.
mentioned, so we see these quite often in the startup ecosystem as well. That startups are setting up their shop in tier two,
So
tier
you
three
don't have to
cities.
relocate to a different city for tech talent.
Correct,
You
correct,
have
correct,
enough talent from here.
correct.
So let me get the founder's perspective, Abhilash and Nilab, and both of you are building companies in the deep tech space, in the mobility space, green mobility space. How easy or tough has it been for you to be based here, building out these firms, or has it helped you? Give us the founder perspective, because from an investor perspective, they believe that relocating to a city that's already saturated with startups is a distraction. The cost of operating goes up, and it's not like you don't get talent here. If you can give us perspective.
So I'll give you our perspective. So at Nakshatra, what we do is we make motors for electric vehicles and industrial application, and we are a three co-founder team, and all three co-founders are from outside Gujarat. I come from Uttar Pradesh. One co-founder comes from Jharkhand, another one is from West Bengal, and we met in college. And I will say, in deep tech, there are multiple steps when you develop a product. One is a proof of concept.
Yeah.
It's very, very early stage. Then you develop a prototype. Now, when you develop a prototype, the biggest challenge is finding vendors who will develop it for you, because most of the vendors already have a booked pipeline, like 5 crore, 10 crore, they already have it. And then you go to them, you say, boss, I want you to help me with the 20,000 product. So fortunately, in Ahmedabad, we didn't face that challenge. There are so many vendors, they were like, boss, you're doing something new. We've been doing job work, but this seems innovative. So let's do the work. And I'll give you one example. So in motors, there's a part called stamping. So we were finding vendors for that. So some of the early vendors were like, take 1,000 kgs, then only we will deal with you. Then we found out a vendor called Pokenemp. They're still our vendor. And they were like, boss, you're doing something innovative, just take the scrap. And for initial 2 years, they didn't even took the money. And right now, in some, like last year, we had some fund crunch. And we just called them, sir, Abhi, we need 2 years of credit line, 2 months of credit line, done. So if you are going to build a product in the hardware sector, Ahmedabad is like the best. Second part about the talent, as Sharoop mentioned, you have to make your company in such a way that people want to join you. It doesn't matter where you come from, where your company is.
Mission focused,
Yeah.
aspiration.
So we are R&D centric company, and I will say, we have engineers from Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Bangalore. Our testing team is from the Bangalore, as if you are mentioning it. So it doesn't matter. You have to just build the company like that. For us, it has been very, very helpful. And initial 2-3 years of Nakshatra we have been incubator called iCreate. They have helped us with the funds, with everything. So yeah, it's been very helpful. And if you are building in hardware, you should come back to Ahmedabad. You should come to Ahmedabad.
Wow. So if you're building in hardware, come back to Ahmedabad. Nilab,
Yeah, so my journey, I'm from Bihar.
keep the mic closer.
Yeah, I'm from Bihar.
And you're from Jharkhand.
I'm from Uttar Pradesh,
Uttar
Lucknow.
Pradesh. Okay, so Uttar Pradesh and Bihar building in Gujarat. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have spent early years in Delhi, almost 20 years, then 6 years in
The
Bangalore.
mic closer.
6 years in Bangalore. But I started working in Gujarat, getting things made in Gujarat with my earliest startup in 2013. So getting manufacturing done here, some bit of it. Very innovative approach. What would typically cost you 1 CR costs you 5 lakh here.
Wow.
Because of the innovation that they do with tooling. Like normally you would go and buy a big block and then you machine it with PMC and all polishing and everything. What they will do is they will build the part first with FRP or something, and then they will do a casting on top of that to make the tool. So it's very, very cheap. So for prototyping, it's the best that you can get anywhere in India. I started Altigreen, that product. So I created that product. Even that from Bangalore, I came here, got it done in here. So as far as manufacturing is concerned, as far as the ecosystem is concerned, it's unmatched. We are very closely located with, Mumbai Industrial Corridor, or even Indore. So it's a big cluster, and pretty much everything that you want in an automotive, you can get it here. There is a challenge in terms of getting talent. I don't know why, but many people, they refuse to come here, or they're not interested in coming here. I don't know, the nitty-gritties. I've just spent 1.5 years here. But I think that will change. As the ecosystem starts to grow, I've seen that with every other city. When I was starting my career, ITES sector was growing. Same challenges, you have massive attrition, you have, lack of talent availability. And, within 2-3 years, 5 years, we saw that, it matured to a certain extent. Same thing will happen here also. We have a lot of startups happening. Matter, they did a great job. Of course, they sourced human resource from somewhere, and they came out with a great product. So it's a challenge, but I don't think it's that big a challenge that you can say that I would want to avoid. So as he said, Abhilash said, if you are in manufacturing, Gujarat, especially Ahmedabad, is one of the best regions that you can be located in. In that sense, I don't think Bangalore offers you that kind of advantage.
And that kind of cost,
It's
right?
very costly. The work culture in terms of manufacturing. Manufacturing requires you to, be very focused. Manufacturing is not innovation. In manufacturing, you have to do a single task your entire day, entire week, repetitive,
And at the same quality.
same quality level. So there, if you have that kind of work culture, that does not work. But at the same time, I would say if you're in innovation, 6-day work culture, difficult to get. So you have to basically, have different approach to different, stuff that you do. And in manufacturing, I mean, like in case of automotive, we have, to deal with AI, tech, manufacturing, very traditional, very high tech, both sides. So you have to have that approach of how you deal with a team within your company, your R&D setup, how you deal with that, because this is typically a very young, energetic team who is looking for a balanced life.
Right.
And at the same time, you have a manufacturing setup, which is, clockwork. So you have to have a very different approach for that. So, yeah, but in a sense, it's a great place. I've only spent 1.5 years here, infrastructure-wise unmatched compared to.
You like the food?
And I like the food culture.
Food culture.
I won't say Gujarati food. I'm a big fan of rural Gujarati food, not so much of urban Gujarati food.
Okay. Abhilash?
So as he mentioned about the R&D and the production side, so it's quite different. When you look at the R&D, it's mostly about the first principles thinking. You have to think from the everything just data based. So most of the people that we hire in the R&D, they are freshers. They also most of the people that we hire are from the racing teams, the people who have participated in the clubs.
But do you find it challenging to hire? I think he mentioned challenges in attracting.
So as I said, one of the best things that we have been able to pull off in last 1 year is that we have been associated with multiple racing teams already. We give them our motors to test. They use our motors in their vehicles. So we found out this way that they already know the nakshatra. And we are closely connected with Aether's R&D team also. So they also taught us how to hire. So in a way, I will say we are, as a startup, we are very fortunate to be born post era of Aether, IdeaForge, Atomwork, because they built a playbook. Otherwise, I don't know if we would have survived, but they helped us a lot. Yeah.
Right. Mihir and Swaroop, the kind of startups that are possible in Gujarat, both of them spoke about how if you're building hardware, there's a very good place. And, he also spoke about the cost of building a prototype in Gujarat, how it's a fraction of the cost that you spend in other states. Does it also dictate what kind of startups you invest in? For instance, you would prefer to invest in something that has a manufacturing play, a product play, rather than a consumer app where you have to spend a lot of money to acquire customers?
So while we look at any investment, we don't look at what can work here. So this is not how we do. So anything, and we are sector agnostic. So we would have invested in space technology as well, or in fintech also, biotechnology. These are all extreme, right? But the good part is the startup ecosystem, all kind of companies, means all pan-India companies come. So at the end of the day, we need to pick and choose. Generally, any VC would look at, there could be error of judgment, whether there is a product market fit, large market size, and repeatability. If that is in place, there is a good use of money a startup can make and demonstrated scale. So this is what we generally look at. From company to company, what could be an advantage to be a local? It all depends. Like for example, few years back, for a space technology, it was not an advantage. But now the InSpace has put up the large facility in terms of incubation. So many of the young space technology company do come in Ahmedabad. Same is many of the young biotechnology company, they do come. A fintech as well, because of the GIFT is here. IFSC and all regulatory and other things are there. So we see many of the fintech company also land up here in Ahmedabad. So it all depend at the end of the day. But the way any venture capitalist look is not something cannot standardize. It works here, it may not work somewhere else, and that is how everybody in the system look at it.
Right. Swaroop?
So, as IMA Ventures, we are supporting entrepreneurs from across India. So, supporting entrepreneurs from only Gujarat is not the DNA. So, largely we say, and as Mihir mentioned, that in last few years, with support of InSpace and other similar organization, and we see movement in these semiconductor OSATs are setting up in Dholera. Lot of startups are now thinking to set up their base in Gujarat. So as an investor, we see a lot of inbound coming from different states, and they are reaching out to us for getting initial capital. So I think that has changed in last couple of years for sure. Otherwise, and again, as Gujarat is a manufacturing hub, we see anyway a lot of deep tech startup getting help from the vendors, manufacturers here. So even though they are set up outside Gujarat, they keep coming here for getting it manufactured largely for some other components. So, there is some linkages whether they are here or outside Gujarat. But practically, semiconductor, space tech, and a lot of other deep tech areas are now emerging, trying to set up their base in Gujarat.
Got it. Abhilash, and in terms of access to capital, has that ever been a problem because of where you're based? Would VCs tell you, why don't you shift to a Mumbai, to an NCR, to a Bangalore, to a Pune? Has that ever come up in funding conversations?
So, in terms of Nakshatra's till now journey, we have raised some grants, angel round, and we had a seed round with the GVFL also. So, it doesn't have been a big challenge for us because, eventually the process is the same. You speak through the ladder, which is basically in every VC firm, analyst, associate, and eventually you speak to the partner. And as soon as, all the online calls are there. So, we have not found any big difference. And one thing which I'll mention, so one of our investors is Rain Matter. So, when they spoke to us, yeah. So, when they spoke to us, we had the first call. And when they wanted us to meet physically, you won't believe they did all the tickets and everything. So, its ecosystem is already there. You won't face any challenge. Online calls helps. you can go to the physical place at the end of the the whole process. So we have not faced any such challenge just because of the geographical location. So none from
That
our
hasn't come in the way of funding.
yeah, no.
Nila?
I don't think so. I mean, for example, for us, we are located on the Dollar Expressway. So
Where a lot of the semiconductor action is
yeah,
happening.
and we are very close to Sanand, which is automotive.
Yeah, the automotive hub.
Hub. Halol is very nearby. It's port access. So any investor would look at what you will do in terms of what you will make, how will you transport it, how will you sell it.
How will you service
of,
your customers
yeah.
at the end of the day?
So disadvantage wise, currently is that a lot of VCs are located in Bangalore. You're not there, so you're not meeting them often. But then in last 1 month itself, I guess we have had 3 such events wherein we have met many investors. So I don't see that as a challenge, no.
Right. Last 5 minutes, just wanted to get your thoughts on if there's one thing that you could change or that you would want to see change in the Gujarat startup ecosystem to sort of take it to the next level. What would it be?
Probably, if I look at many of the business model which I come across, whether it's a technology heavy or technology execution heavy, most of the time the DNA of those businesses are more of B2B, not necessarily B2C. There is a, of course, means there is a defensibility as well, but that in whatever I see, maybe a 10. So, like for example, if I were to see in Bangalore, maybe 7 out of 10 could be a B2C.
They also burn more money.
They burn more money. So genetically, Gujarati entrepreneur, I guess, are more defensive. So at the end of the day, if VC invest, they will do a test, whether there is a large market, go to market, and there is possibility to do a scale out of it. So at the end of the day, whosoever raising money, they will pass on those principles. Maybe it could be a judgment of the investors or a founder believes so. They scale up or they don't scale up, that's a different thing. But the DNA of most of the startup across the sector would be more of a B2B than a B2C. So this is what, whether it should change or not, I can't comment on, because at the end of the day, but this is what I observed so far.
Yeah, but to be fair, they've also been very good B2C brands coming out of Gujarat. If you look
No,
at the
absolutely,
cosmetics space,
absolutely.
I think Winnie Cosmetics,
Correct,
Many
correct.
Cosmetics is based here.
No, even in
ice
VC
cream brands, right?
Correct,
From
correct.
Hocco to Have More
Correct.
to all
So
of them.
even the B2C brand, and still there are some of the brands which would have raised maybe Series A, Series B, or Series C as well.
Yeah.
They are doing very, very well. So I think those are the people who are still blessed with and continue to be with the same DNA. Okay, I am doing B2C, and all these companies they know this, that okay, customer do exist. My product has this kind of margin. If there is a product market fit, channel market fit, channel fit, and repeatability, if you are in position to do it repetitively, then you don't require burning money.
Correct.
The burning money comes when the repeatability is not
Correct.
yet is known, and then you start jumping at with the bigger money. Then you start fatigue, and then either you collapse, or if you are fortunate to raise money, you end up acquiring other companies to correct your or cover up your own judgment error.
Got it. Swaroop?
Gujarat is known for business, and I mean, we say that each family has that DNA. So, according to me, what has to change and what we are envisioning for a lot of second generation individual and entrepreneur who have seen legacy business. We had conversation right before these. We are trying to find potential in the second generation. Most of them are now coming from abroad, studying, spending few years, coming back, and we see these stories more often these days. So if we can find some potential in them, and they want to either digitize or kind of diversify some of the business and want to set up a new age cutting edge business in Gujarat, so we are kind of looking for that change, identifying these potential.
There's a better chance they might just open a family office and do investments.
That's an event, but they really want to kind of get
Hmm.
into business. So definitely
Okay.
investment, I mean startup investment as an asset class, definitely there is a lot of scope. But I mean they have that kind of vision to establish something or maybe extending their
Hmm.
legacy business into some new era. So that's where we see a lot of potential, and we as an organization really focusing on that. That how do we help these second generation getting into tech-led businesses for next
So
few
that's an
years.
opportunity
Correct,
that you
correct.
see
Yep,
in
yep.
terms of how they can digitize, how they can
Correct,
adapt. Nilab, the gap that you see that you wish will go away to take it to the next level.
To comment. My company, two of the founders are Gujarat-based, second generation. Um, what I have found, I mean, it's a good thing actually. I'm not saying it in a negative connotation. That they're very basic business oriented, very basic business oriented. So profitability, margins, frugal nature. I come from startup background, so I'm like fast paced and all. But it's kind of a very very healthy combination wherein we don't make the same mistakes that have happened in my previous organizations, wherein I supported them and created the product, and a lot of funding happened and then end up with zero money
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
Altigreen for example. So in that sense I find this to be very very sustainable. I can create great products. They have great legacy of running the business, making it profitable from the word go, being very frugal
Dhanda,
and dhanda
dhando,
karna.
as they call it.
So I think that's a combination that will work for Gujarat very well, wherein the new tech one, it has already started to happen, and then you have the cosmopolitan culture becoming more predominant, and then this combination of that legacy business culture and the new age tech driven. So I think it will actually help Gujarat to cement its position even further
Right.
than compared to wherein one like the new age thing, which is Bangalore for example, it dominates. And therefore you see that lot of startups, even though they're very successful in terms of getting the technology right, getting the initial scale and everything, and then they falter because they overspend, they don't look at the basics. So I think that works for Gujarat.
Closing thoughts, Abhilash?
One thing which I like most about Bangalore and I miss in Ahmedabad is there is a very close knit startup community in Bangalore. Everyone knows someone. If you have a problem, you speak to someone, he knows someone, he'll figure out the problem. And I was in Bangalore last week and I got to meet 4 to 5 startups, different variant, different kind of people. And I shared the problem, it got solved. In Ahmedabad, there are many good startups, but there's no, in Bangalore, there are too many hackathons, too many cultural meetups, too many. So there are too many, I will say in Hindi, बहुत से बहाने होते हैं by which you can meet other folks and you can simplify your problem. I think Ahmedabad has to strong game its community game, and if you do that, then unmatched to
And
any other
hopefully
ecosystem.
events like this will take you
Absolutely.
all a step further towards that.
Absolutely.
But on that note, thank you very much. Amazing insights, Mihir, Abhilash, Nilab, and Swaroop. Thank you very much, and a huge round of applause for our panelists.